Dis nie altyd maklik om in die koue wintermaande lus te wees vir oefen nie. Daarom wil ons graag fiksheidsraad met jou deel. Maar voor ons jou inspireer om te oefen, loer ons gou in by ons vriende van Lamelle.
Karen, it is very, very nice to meet you. I'm looking forward to seeing how we can assist. Why don't you kick us off with a little bit about you?
Well, it's great to be here and finally been taking care of my own skin for a change. I am in the corporate well-being space and I'm a consultant to organizations and I preach self-care. So I need to now start practicing that. I also really enjoy the outdoors. The other hat I wear literally is a mountain goat. And I say hat because I do wear a hat. I also want to try and set an example in my life for my grandchildren in terms of work-life balance, but also that they can see that aging isn't something that is a deterioration process.
So Karen, with the outdoors, the physical activity, it sounds to me that you've got a lot of environmental exposure, right? And you've probably had so for some years. How does that influence your skincare program or choices?
Always, as a child, I always was told, I'm so lucky, you don't burn, you just go brown. And that was kind of, oh, well, my skin is resilient and therefore I don't need to really worry about it. I might have that propensity to tan, but it doesn't mean that my skin's not vulnerable to damage. And very often what happens is I start the day out and I've got my sunblock on and I will work hard and I will grab the last rays of sunshine in the day to head outdoors and not even think. I think, well, it's coming to the end of the day, I don't need to do anything. And that's where I think a lot of my risk is.
So in light of the fact that you spend a lot of time outdoors, you've really seen a lot of sun exposure and still do, and you've acknowledged sun protection, that's great. Is there anything else that you do for your skin to, after exposure recovery or pre-exposure boosting your antioxidant levels? Is there anything else that you do for your skin as well?
Apart from at the end of the day, sort of cleansing and putting on a night cream, that's about it. Based
on what your skin is currently presenting with, when you look in the mirror, is there any particular sign that concerns you more than the others, or is it just general aging? My
vision, like the sort of heavy lids, and I have an autoimmune condition, myasthenia gravis, and that does affect you when you're fatigued as well. So there's that balance. And I've also, in my life, I've had 2 strokes. And that was 20 years ago now, this year. And I lost the functioning on my left side and everything kind of dropped. And I've managed to obviously recover quite a lot of that. But certainly when I look, I can start to see signs of that.
But important to understand about sagging on the face, the neck in particular, is that the skin probably plays the smallest role out of all the elements in causing that sagging. I'm not saying that it is without blame. Sun damage, especially on a thinner neck skin, can definitely present later on with sagging and so on and so forth. When people come for a lifting cream, in truth, that's not really a viable option. It can make the skin firmer, smoother, softer, but to actually lift up that jawline to back where it was beforehand isn't going to happen unless you restore what's been lost, which is the volume. So from a topical skincare point of view, it's not really an objective measurement that we can achieve by any means. The skin can look nicer, but still be a little saggy. So in that instance, it's usually surgical intervention, or more recently, people moving to the less invasive treatments, which are injections of filler, etc., to try and retake up that volume. If that's not really what you're looking for, there are other non-invasive treatments which consist of injectable therapies to help relax muscles so that the muscle can help lift the brows. That's certainly a viable option, but not something that home care or topical care for that matter will make a distinct change on. So I think that's an important point to address your primary concern. Yeah. In terms of the issues we can assist with that you have mentioned to us, I think that the sun protection, the sun boosting beforehand and afterwards is probably where we can give you the most advice and support with in the shorter to medium term. I think it's really important to emphasize that your sun exposure that you're having is significant. That's not your typical day-to-day exposure, and it's not something that we should get upset about. Let's embrace it and fix it, because it is fixable. But what we need to do moving forward is recognize the value of a combination of not just photo protection, sunscreens, but very powerful antioxidants as preventers.
Yes.
That is the skin preparation that I was referring to. If you were to look at the quantity of antioxidants you lose with each period of sun exposure, you can lose up to 40% of your antioxidant level within 15 to 20 minutes. The best thing you could do is, if you're expecting a long leisurely walk in the mountains, is to load up with the topical antioxidants the night before, the morning of, wear a suitable sunscreen with hat, and then on your return at the end of the day, when you do clean and cleanse your skin, very important, reload back in because you have lost them. Put them back in again, and that in itself is probably one of the most powerful defense mechanisms you can apply to your daily skincare program for an outdoors individual. I think that there's a lot that can be done to assist you.
Thanks for this opportunity. It means a lot to me.